Narrator. It started with a nightstand, then some clothes, then his bathroom essentials. And before Kody Brown could even process what was happening, his entire presence had been moved to the garage, boxed, labeled, and stacked like yesterday's mail. But this wasn't a tantrum. It wasn't petty. It was power. Christine Brown had spent years asking for partnership, for love, for fairness, for basic human respect. And Kody gave her breadcrumbs. So when she finally packed up his things and cleared him out of the bedroom, she wasn't lashing out. She was reclaiming her space, her peace, herself. Every box was a message. Kody's clothes, Kody's books, Kody's bathroom stuff. No screaming, no dramatic confrontation, just the cold, undeniable reality. You don't live here anymore. And the look on Kody's face? Priceless. That blank stare, the open-mouthed shock, like he couldn't believe she'd actually followed through. That moment said it all. He never thought she'd have the guts. That's how disconnected he had become. So wrapped up in Robyn's world that he didn't notice Christine slipping further and further away until she was gone. And let's be honest, he deserved the surprise. Kody had gotten used to doing whatever he wanted, bouncing between homes, spreading his things, and his time, as thinly as his excuses. But Christine? She was done being the backup wife, done being the forgotten one. And those boxes? They weren't just storage, they were symbolic. They were the funeral of a relationship that had already flatlined. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, but it was fierce. And for Christine, it was the moment she stopped waiting to be chosen and chose herself instead. For years, Kody Brown prided himself on being present in 4 households. But let's be honest, it was never about emotional presence. It was logistics. His time wasn't split evenly, it was scattered. His heart wasn't invested. It was missing. He had a toothbrush at Christine's, a dresser at Janelle's, a gym set up in a trailer, and practically a shrine at Robyn's. But ask any of the original wives how present he really was, and the answer's always the same. He wasn't. Christine finally had enough. She didn't just pack his things. She went a step further. She sold the bed, their bed, and that's when the mask slipped. Instead of asking why she felt the need to get rid of it, Kody's first reaction was outrage. That was my bed, not our bed. Not a bed with memories, just his possession. And the irony? He was the one who had pushed Christine into buying it in the first place. Secondhand. Pressured her into it, and then acted like it was some sacred heirloom. But what was sacred to him wasn't love or history, it was control. Christine wasn't just selling furniture. She was burning the last emotional bridge between them. And maybe that's why it all finally clicked for her. Her mother had once left the same kind of rigid, repressive structure, stepped away from the same fundamentalist faith that Christine had tried so hard to make work. That strength, that example, lived inside her all along. And now, it was her turn to walk. Because how long can a woman wait for a man who only shows up when it benefits him? How long can you beg for love from someone who measures affection by convenience? Christine stopped waiting. She realized that being a good wife didn't mean sacrificing her dignity, and once she saw it clearly, there was no unseeing it. The red flags weren't new, she'd just been trained to ignore them. But not anymore. If you really want to understand why Christine left, don't look at the marriage, look at the kids. Christine had been silent for years, loyal, patient, but it was watching her children, particularly Truly and Isabel, be treated like afterthoughts that finally shattered any illusion that Kody Brown was still a father in the real sense of the word. Let's rewind to season 6, when little Truly was hospitalized with acute kidney failure. Christine rushed her to the ER. It was terrifying. A life-or-death emergency. And where was Kody? Nowhere. Completely uninvolved. His absence during one of the darkest moments of their family's life wasn't just neglect. It was a betrayal. Fast forward to season 16, and the pattern hadn't changed. Isabel, Christine's daughter, had been suffering with scoliosis for years. In pain, waiting endlessly for a surgery that kept getting delayed. And when the time finally came, Kody refused to travel for it. Too risky, he said. Not for Isabel, for himself. Christine watched her daughter cry, beg, and then go silent, realizing her father chose fear over family. Meanwhile, over at Robyn's house, Kody was crafting vanities for Ariella for Valentine's Day. Sweet gestures, full attention, cuddles at bedtime. The same energy he never gave to Christine's girls. It wasn't favoritism anymore. It was a pattern of emotional abandonment. Christine didn't leave in a rage. She left because her children deserved better. She had to file for child support just to get Kody to step up financially for Truly, something no mother should have to do when the father is still very much alive and capable. And while Robyn's kids were calling Kody dad before the wedding, Truly and Isabel were learning how to grow up without one, even while he still wore the title. That's what broke Christine. Not the marriage. The moment she realized she was the only parent truly showing up for her children. That their emotional survival depended on her walking away. And that's exactly what she did. If there's one thing Robyn Brown has mastered, it's performance. In the Sister Wives tell-alls, viewers saw a now familiar act. The sly smirk when uncomfortable truths were brought up, followed by the instant switch to sad and confused victim. It's like clockwork. One second she's smug, the next she's blinking rapidly, trying to squeeze out a tear that never seems to come. But this time, that performance collapsed at Garrison's funeral. Fans were watching closely, and what they saw was chilling. Robyn sat cold and stiff. No red eyes, no running mascara, no tissues, no emotion. A family had just buried their son, her stepson, and yet Robyn couldn't even fake grief. For someone who's been dramatically emotional for 2 decades, her stone-faced silence was deafening, and it didn't go unnoticed. Kelty, once incredibly close to Robyn, even calling her a second mom, walked away from the funeral deeply upset. She didn't say much publicly, but what she did say spoke volumes. She couldn't forgive Robyn for what happened there, and she wasn't alone. The shift in tone between the adult kids and Robyn was undeniable after Garrison's passing. Speculation swirled. Did Robyn make an inappropriate comment? Try to involve production at the funeral? Was it her usual attempt to center herself in a moment that wasn't about her? We may never know. But what's clear is something happened, and it changed everything. And honestly, that tracks with Robyn's history. Time and time again, she's inserted herself into someone else's pain, then twisted the spotlight back onto her own feelings. If Janelle is hurting, Robyn's crying because she feels bad. If Christine's leaving, Robyn is sobbing over what it means for her future. If Garrison passes away, Robyn suddenly becomes silent, like emotion was never actually hers to begin with. Her emotional displays are calculated. When she wants sympathy, she's got the tears ready. But when real pain strikes, pain that demands raw, unfiltered humanity, she goes cold. Because in the end, it's not about family. It's about control. Robyn doesn't cry when others suffer, and she cries when her image is threatened. Let's talk about that so-called spiritual courtship between Robyn and Kody. Because what TLC showed us barely scratched the surface. They wanted us to believe it was all innocent, just church kisses, and waiting until the honeymoon for anything serious. But the footage told a different story. That infamous kiss? It wasn't a chaste peck. It was passionate, suggestive, and way too intimate for what they claimed. And they were caught sneaking these kisses on camera, with production rolling no less. Imagine what went on when the cameras were off. Meanwhile, Christine was pregnant, betrayed, carrying the weight of a secret that tore her family apart. And it wasn't just the emotional betrayal. Robyn's kids were already calling Kody dad before they were officially married. That crossed lines and boundaries the family tried desperately to deny. Janelle and Mary? They thought Robyn would be an asset, someone to share the load, help with the kids, bring stability. Instead, they ended up babysitting the fallout, picking up the pieces of a relationship that was unraveling from the start. Robyn didn't integrate into the family. She isolated it. She monopolized Kody's time and attention, driving a wedge between him and the original wives. While Janelle and Mary carried the burden, Robyn quietly took over, all while playing the innocent victim on camera. The truth is harsh, but it's the truth. The courtship wasn't about waiting for a spiritual confirmation. It was about control, secrecy, and crossing lines that tore the family apart. And Christine? She saw it all, felt the betrayal, and made her choice. Christine's transformation is stunning, not just physically, but emotionally. She's glowing with a lightness that comes from finally being free. No more hiding who she is. No more carrying the weight of a family that never truly supported her. She looks radiant because she is radiant. Because freedom heals. Thank you for watching TLC Sister Wives Recap. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I'm Sarah, and I'll see you in the next one. Much love.